So, what does it really take to win a war? You might think it's all about armies, tactics, maybe some cutting edge weapons. But what if the most powerful weapon of all isn't even used on the battlefield? What if it's the story you tell after all the fighting has stopped? Today, we're going to jump back, way back, 4,500 years to the dawn of civilization, to look at the very first war monument and the blueprint it created for something we see everywhere now, the victory narrative. Okay, let's just dive right into this. Take a look. This is one of the oldest images of the brutal aftermath of war, carved in limestone over 4.5 millennia ago. It's called the Stele of the Vultures. And yeah, it's for a pretty grim reason. Those birds are literally carrying off the severed heads of defeated soldiers. This isn't just some old rock. It's a message, carved in stone, meant to last forever.
And that really brings us to the central question, doesn't it? It's not just about winning a battle on one particular day. It's about winning the battle for memory itself. How do you make absolutely sure that your version of events is the only one that survives for generations, for millennia even?
To answer that, we've got to look at the object itself. This isn't just a rock with some cool carvings on it. This is our main piece of evidence for how the first recorded victors wrote their own history.
And here it is. This is the Stele of the Vultures. Now, what's left of it was found in fragments in modern-day Iraq. And when you piece it together, you get the earliest known war monument in human history. It tells the story of this really bloody border dispute between two Sumerian cities, Lagash and Umma, all over a patch of fertile farmland. Now, to really get this thing, you have to place it on the timeline. We're in the early dynastic period of Mesopotamia. I mean, cities themselves are a pretty new invention, and writing is just getting started. In this world, these new city-states were just constantly fighting over land, water, you name it. So this monument doesn't just pop up out of nowhere. It comes from a world that was basically defined by conflict. The stele is so fascinating because it tells its story on two completely different sides, and they present two different realities of the war. So let's decode the message that its creator, King Eannatum of Lagash, wanted the world to remember forever. Okay, so one side gives us what scholars call the historical narrative. It's laid out in these rows, these registers, that read almost like an ancient graphic novel. It shows the battle from a human perspective. It's the play-by-play of how Lagash won. And this just brilliantly shows the new reality of organized warfare. I mean, look at these details. You've got King Eannatum leading this tight phalanx of disciplined soldiers, all protected by helmets and shields. This is a professional army. And look what they're doing. They're trampling over the naked, chaotic bodies of their enemies from Umma. And then up above, the vultures are doing their thing. Kind of a gruesome cleanup crew, sealing the enemy's fate.
But that's only half the story. If you could turn this stone over, the whole perspective changes dramatically. It zooms way out from the human battlefield to the cosmic realm. On this mythological side, we see this colossal figure who just dwarfs everyone else. This is Ningirsu, the patron god of the winning city Lagash. He's holding the symbol of his power, a lion-headed eagle, and in his other hand, he's got this huge net just filled with the tiny captured soldiers of the enemy city, Umma. And the writing on the stone makes the message absolutely crystal clear. This was not just a human victory. It was a divine one. According to the story here, King Eannatum didn't win because his army was better. He won because he was the chosen agent of the mighty god Ningirsu. His victory was literally sanctioned by the heavens. Now, this war between Lagash and Umma wasn't just some one-off event. To really understand this monument, we have to zoom out again and see that this was just one battle in a much, much larger pattern of constant struggle for power in ancient Mesopotamia. The sources describe this whole period as one of endemic competition. Think of it like a constant, simmering, low-level state of war, where all these cities were fighting over territory and resources, and each one was trying to get this temporary dominance, this hegemony, that was always just out of reach. And what's really cool is we can actually see the art of celebrating these victories evolving over time. If we put the stele of the vultures next to the victory stele of Naram Sin, which was made just a couple of hundred years later, we see a fascinating shift in the propaganda. See the difference? On the left, King Eannatum is the hero, sure, but he's acting for his god, Ningirsu. But on the right, King Naram Sin has basically cut out the middleman. He's shown as a divine being himself. He's wearing a horned helmet, which was a symbol of divinity, and he's literally standing above his own soldiers, closer to the heavens. The triumph now belongs to the king, and the king alone. And yeah, the historical record totally backs this up. The royal inscriptions from this time, they read like this relentless list of conquests and rebellions. I mean, from Eonatum to the great Sargon and his grandson Naram-Sin, the number one job of a king was to wage war, either to expand his power or just to desperately hang on to it. So what does all this add up to? Let's talk about the lasting legacy of this ancient stone and the war it describes. The Stele of the Vultures basically gives us a 4-step playbook for how to make a victory permanent. Okay, step 1, you win the military battle. Step 2, you claim it was divinely ordained. Step 3, and this is the key, you carve that story into stone for everyone to see. And finally, the inscription tells us the defeated king of Umma was forced to swear an oath, binding him and his people to this new reality. You don't just win, you make the loser agree that you are right to win. So this was way more than just an after-action report. It was a powerful new technology of state power. It blended military might, religious authority, and public art into a single, permanent message. We won, the gods are on our side, and this is now the official history. So don't even think about challenging it. And that leaves us with one final thought. This 4,500-year-old stone isn't just a window into the past. It forces us to ask a question that we are still grappling with today, every single time we look at a statue in a park or a monument to a past conflict. Are we looking at a factual record of what actually happened? Or are we just looking at the story the winner wanted us to believe?